Hey lovelies, it's Kate. Welcome back to another speed build. It's time for another mansion. This time I'm building on my favorite 50 by 50 lot. It's the one in Willow Creek on the left side of the map. My mission or my idea was to create a perfect family home. I wanted to create some type of suburban fantasy mansion that is super quaint, really inviting, just a beautiful, really scenic family home. And I started off by working on the terrain. At first I built a room at the bottom, and if you want to build some type of multi-level home like this, if you want to have an open basement like this type of style, I can recommend to start with the room on the very bottom. So you just build your room, then you have to pick a room height, so small, medium or high, and then you add a floor piece on top, and then you can simply expand your floor piece and you can raise the terrain below, and this way you can just find the correct height for your terrain. And this is how I started off, and then I worked on the part of the build that is on the right side, and here I was kind of unsure what to do with the roofing. At first I wanted to have a combination of just a regular gabled roof and this more flat roof, and then I also put some half gabled roof into the mix. There's a lot going on when it comes to the roofing, but I was going for many details for this build. I always like to say that it's all about the details for me, and this is my recommendation for builds in general. I mean, I don't know if you are not working on a minimalistic build, but if you want to create something that's really dreamy, I think details just add a lot to a build. It just makes a build more interesting, more exciting. And sometimes a build might look really simple in the beginning, but then when you add more and more details, it becomes really interesting. And this is what I tried to do here. I also used different roof swatches or roof patterns. I used one that came with eco living or eco lifestyle. It's eco lifestyle. I still think that it should have been called eco living. However, I used this roof swatch and then also a base game swatch, so I have a nice color contrast here at this point. And these bushes are part of island living, and they're just perfect. As I said, I was going for this really dreamy, beautiful look, and this is why I just wanted to add a bit of pink here and there. And then I changed the height of the foundation because I noticed that I would like to have like just a different level in between, so the stairs would look more interesting. And as you just saw, I placed a foundation piece and you can simply connect them with some stairs. We can place different foundation heights right next to each other, but we can always use some stairs to connect them and to make it look more interesting. And I also used a rounded foundation piece in the front, and when I do this, I always use the foundation piece that already has a fence attached to it. It's perfect, and when you combine multiple of them, you can even create a perfect circle. I didn't do this here, but this is why I always gravitate towards these round foundation pieces. There are also other ones that don't have a fence attached to them, but this is like my favorite one. And then I wanted to include some type of flower bed, and I used some base game rocks, and these have the super warm swatch, and I think the color is just perfect in combination with these bushes that I used on the right side. It's almost like a bit pink. And then I used some eco lifestyle debug rocks, and I'm now officially in love with these rocks. So I've used them for my last build and they're just perfect, and I can just recommend them for builds like this. They have the perfect shape. You can simply either sink them into the ground using the tool mod, or you can always place them below in a basement and press 9 to raise them up. They are just perfect for landscaping. They are just so unique when it comes to their shape. We don't have any remotely similar rocks in this game. This is really a first, and this makes me really excited because sometimes we just get a different version of something that we already have in the game. But these rocks, these debug rocks, are just really amazing. I really love them. I also love the color. I really like to use a lot of whites in my kind of dreamy, more suburban builds, and I really like that the rocks just fit perfectly into this. And then I really like to work with some contrasts, and I don't know, I just love the swatch. It's perfect in my opinion. When it comes to the whole theme, like I said, that it's It's kind of inspired by suburban homes, but this is not really suburbia. I once built a suburban dream home, and someone said, you have no idea what suburbia looks like. And I know what suburbia looks like American suburbia and all that. I know that this is not really suburban, but I mean, there are these really beautiful, dreamy suburban homes, something that was depicted in Desperate Housewives, for example, which is more of a fantasy over the top version of suburbia, like really dreamy and just really beautiful. And this was just loosely inspired by that. I know that this is not suburbia, it's like really, I don't know, it has a lot of fantasy elements, as I said. So yeah, I know what suburbia looks like, and this is not real suburbia, but it was loosely inspired, just this kind of vibe. I said this before, I was obsessed with Desperate Housewives. I've watched the whole show like, I don't know, 3 times maybe, and there are a lot of episodes. I really love the show. It's wonderful, and I don't know, I just really love the vibe, and I would love to have like a proper Desperate Housewives kind of home. This would be cool, but then I think it would look so simple in The Sims probably if I would build this. Like, they look really dreamy and beautiful in real life, but I don't know if this kind of style really truly translates to The Sims, or if it would look really, really simple. Because the shape of these houses are not really that special, and in The Sims, when you go a little bit over the top and when you work with some out of the ordinary shapes, I think it always looks more fun and interesting, and it's also more fun to work on builds like this, for me at least. And here I'm adding more of the equalized steady bug rocks. I wanted to create these multi-level flower beds, and this is the eye catcher of the build for me. I really love the shape. I really love the combination of these equalized steady bug rocks and the base game rocks. I really like the color contrast. The base game rocks have this more darker gray, and then we have these white or light gray equalized style rocks. They are beautiful. And also, in case you have no idea, there is an update for Twisted Maxie's tool mod. So in case you're using the tool mod yourself, and I can totally recommend this mod, it's game changing when it comes to build mode, there is an update, and now there is group support, so you can select multiple objects and you can just rotate them, or you can change the position, you can elevate them. I actually didn't use the new version of the mod for this build yet. I had actually updated the mod, but there was something wrong at first and you couldn't elevate a group of objects, and this is exactly what I needed for this build. But then there was an update again shortly after, so it was fixed, and yeah, now it works fine. But I didn't use it for this build yet, but it would have been super convenient and helpful, because actually I had to just lower so many of these rocks, as you just saw, so this would have been really helpful. So in case you haven't updated the tool mod yet, or if you're interested to check it out, there's a new version and it's just amazing. There are also a couple of other things. Also, when you change the rotation axis, you had to close the menu and open it up again to see how the object would rotate, and now this was fixed as well, and you see it instantly when you change the axis, stuff like this. If you don't use the mod, you're probably confused by this, but yeah, just wanted to mention this because this is really, really helpful and truly a game changer. And if you guys would be interested, I could also cover the new options and changes in a small tool mod tutorial, but I don't know if you guys would be interested in that. I don't know if many of you are actually using the mod, but I've noticed that more and more builders are actively using the mod, also on Twitter, where everyone is kind of sharing their builds. So at first people seem to be a little bit hesitant. Not everyone wants to use mods, and of course you can only use them on PC, but I think the great thing, I've said this before, is that it doesn't affect the gallery upload. I wouldn't use this mod otherwise, because I want my builds to be unmodded and CC free, so anyone can use them. So this is like really important to me. And when Sadie Sims actually introduced me to the mod back then, and she told me, yeah, it's not a problem, that it doesn't affect the gallery upload, I was like, I'm intrigued. Let me check this out. So yeah, enough about the tool mod. So on the left side, I added just a part of the build, and I also built a garage at the bottom. In the very beginning, I was building this room when I explained how to kind of find the correct height for the terrain, and this is the garage area. And I used some cats and dogs doors. These are like these small pet doors that you can place anywhere, and I just sized them up, and I think they're beautiful. They have this kind of farmhouse vibe, and they're just perfect for a really dreamy family home. And later on I'm going to add some glass awnings, which are part of eco lifestyle, and I really like the contrast. For builds like this, I usually stay away from anything that's remotely modern, but here I figured it's just so beautiful. They have this very pale blue color, as you can see here, and they just look so perfect with all the white details. And I just love white roof trims and exterior trims and fences for builds like this. I don't know, it looks so beautiful for some reason, especially when you put some darker colors in there so you have a contrast. It's just like suburbia, but a different version of suburbia. I don't know, I just love this style. And I haven't built a house like this in a while, actually. Like back then, this was my go-to style for a while, and recently I've worked on more modern builds, especially because of eco lifestyle, and I just had to cleanse my palette, and I just had to build something that's not modern at all. I've said this before, I'm over eco lifestyle builds for now, like proper eco lifestyle, not the pack, but more the theme, the whole eco theme. So I'm over this for now, and I just had to build something that's not modern, and I just enjoyed this so much. This was like amazing. And I also added some baskin bushes, as you can see here, and I then decided to get rid of some of these round bushes, and I changed the color of this edge that I created for the flower bed. And at first I wanted to use some get together fences. It's not like a proper fence, it's an object, which is amazing because you can rotate it freely. I can really recommend this object, but here it just didn't look right, so I had to get rid of it, and I just replaced it with a regular fence. And I also changed the color of the floor, like some type of rock garden or something, so I wasn't going for a lot of green here. And now I'm changing the fence actually, and the fence is part of Cats and Dogs, and Cats and Dogs has this whole New England Cape Cod kind of feel to it. It's a really great pack, and it's also a pack that is perfect for really quaint, beautiful family homes, in my opinion. It's just part of the pack, this whole kind of style and vibe. And I was adding some debug cars down there. These are of course not functional, they are not CC, they are part of the game, but they are debug, so they are just environment objects that are placed all around the game, somewhere in Desert Valley and all that, just in different areas, and they are just for decoration and part of the world, and you can find them in the debug menu and you can add them to your build, so it just looks beautiful. This garage at the bottom is not really a proper garage. I actually built some bedrooms down there, and there are 6 bedrooms in total in this build. The floor plan is a bit unique, and I decided to just build a room with a glass roof here, so I was able to connect both parts of the build, because at first, as you saw, I was working on the part that's on the right side, and then I was adding the part of the build that's on the left of the lot, and then I just had to connect them, and I just figured it would be great to have a hallway like this, including some type of glass roof. I used the Island Living glass floors for this, and the light is just so beautiful, as you can see here. I also placed a roof on the side. I just pulled out the eaves and added a glass roof swatch. Then I built another roof on top and added the glass swatch. So this is a really unique hallway, including a lot of glass, and it's just beautiful. And this might be a little bit modern. As I said, I usually stay away from this, but after I added the glass awnings, I figured this would look good, and it doesn't look too modern. The whole vibe of the build still is modern, so it looks like a really over-the-top weird family home. Also, while I was building this, it was super hot. I mean, not even super hot actually. It was like 29 degrees Celsius or something, but for some reason it felt super hot. I think because summer has just begun, and you just have to get used to it every year. And I'm already so afraid if we get like some, I don't know, 40 degrees, 38 degrees Celsius. This is just way too much for me. Horrible. And I'm already really scared. And I don't know, was just chilling in front of 2 fans while I was building this because it was so hot. But now that I'm recording the voiceover, it's amazing, like 19 degrees or something, which is perfect right now. It just feels like you have a bit of relief and a pause from the hot weather, which is just so great. My cat was already so exhausted, and she's also really happy that it's a lot better now. Like, I know that a lot of Americans are always confused when Europeans are complaining about this, but the problem is we don't have AC in our homes usually. This is not a thing here for most homes, and also our homes are designed to trap heat on the inside because we have really bad winters, and this is like how it is here. So as soon as it gets really hot, it's hell for us most of the time. This is why you will notice that every year when it's summer, a lot of Europeans are complaining about this. So this is really bad when you're chilling inside a home that is technically designed to trap heat on the inside. It gets really bad. And I got to think about this now because I'm just so relieved, because when you record a voiceover you have to turn off your fan, but luckily it's perfect today. Perfect, 19 or 20 degrees. I'm a happy girl right now, so this is just perfect. So I don't know, like last year we had 38 degrees Celsius or even 40 degrees Celsius at some point, and it was so bad that I said I won't record a voiceover. I just can't. It was just so bad, no air condition, and then when you have to turn off your fan, it was just like really bad. I think there's just a point where it's not just annoyingly hot, but where you just feel dizzy, and it's just really bad. So here I'm working on the interior, and I had no idea which colors to choose at first, and then I decided to go for a really dark wood floor, and then I wanted to use lots of whites to have this contrast again. The whole stairs situation is really unique and interesting in my opinion. I have these stairs in the center, and I used some equalizer fences to have some type of room divider, and then on the other side there are also some stairs, and the position is a bit out of the ordinary, but I can place them elsewhere because it just wouldn't work because of the room below. This was just kind of the layout that I had to opt for. And then I decided to place the TV on the fence because it just made the build more interesting, and I also had a lot of windows, and of course I can't place a TV in front of a window. So this is what I was going for eventually, and I really like the open floor plan, but because of the stairs and all these room dividers, it doesn't feel open, so it's a bit unusual for me and different from what I usually build or how I create my interiors. So I think that this is quite interesting. I also included a dining table that I used as a desk. I wanted to have a really huge spacious table, and this is just a combination of an office space and a living room basically. The bedrooms, as you will see, are located in different areas of the house. There is a floor above this one, and the stairs that you can see in the background are leading up there. Here you can see it. And here you will find 2 bedrooms, and then there are multiple bedrooms at the bottom where you saw the garage doors, and then on the right side where I started to build, there are also 2 bedrooms. So there are 6 bedrooms in total and 4 bathrooms, so there is enough space for a big sim family. I definitely wanted to make sure that there are enough bedrooms because, I mean, it's a dreamy family mansion, so it wouldn't be a family mansion if there wouldn't be enough space to have a family, I guess. So this is why I made sure to include a lot of bedrooms, but it's like they are not located in one area of the house, so this makes the floor plan a bit unique. I also used a lot of the new eco lifestyle objects for these bedrooms. I might be over the eco theme for now, but I'm definitely not over all the new objects. They are just amazing. I love them. I also love these curtains. The swatch is just so modern and beautiful. It adds a bit of color to a room, but not too much when you want to have a really neutral interior. Lots of grays and all that, beige, just this kind of color palette. You can still add these curtains in the swatch, and it just adds a bit of color. It makes a room more interesting, and I just love this. I wish we had more swatches like this, and I would also love to have more basic curtains. I think this game is definitely lacking curtains when it comes to build mode. I mean, it's lacking a lot of different things, but I would love to have different curtains. And now I'm working on the area of the house that is located on the right side, the one that I started to work on in the very beginning of the video. And I used these equalizer windows. They are really interesting, but these windows made it really difficult to work on these rooms because I couldn't place anything on these walls. So it's like really open and simple and minimalistic, really airy. So we have these windows in the background, but your Sims technically still can't look in. I mean, they can't in general, but I know that a lot of people like to keep it realistic in terms of privacy for your Sims and all that. In these windows, even though you have windows going all around the room and there's a lot of beautiful light in the room, there's still privacy. So these windows are beautiful, and this is one of the bedrooms located at the bottom here. I was going for a lot of blue. I wanted this to look really happy and bright, kind of, so really inviting. I used a lot of these warm wood swatches, and I just like the color contrast, so this is a really happy room. This bed is part of City Living, I think, and these tables in the background are from Eco Lifestyle, and then I used some Get Famous tables to just have this kind of really unique nightstand situation, and I added a fireplace, which is also part of Eco Lifestyle. I just have to say, I said this before, I'm just really in love with all these new objects. And here is another bedroom at the very bottom. Again, I was going for blue, but this room is a bit darker, and these tables in the background, or these surfaces, are part of Dine Out. And then I used some coffee tables, and I just placed them on the inside of these tables in the background to create a custom nightstand. This makes a bedroom just more interesting. I sometimes like to do this. And then I just placed a sofa there and just decorated the room a little bit. And then I was about to work on the backyard. I just had to place a couple of things over there. I was almost done, but I placed just a table and some chairs, just different decorations everywhere, so it looks really inviting. The backyard is pretty simple, but I still wanted to add just a bit decoration and plants here and there. I built a really small outdoor kitchen so your Sims could have a barbecue over there, and I mean, I just wanted to place the outdoor kitchen really close to the table, so it just would make sense. And then you have the pool over there, and your Sims can just enjoy the great weather. And this is almost it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you have a perfect day and week. As always, you can find this build in the gallery, unmodded, CC free and fully furnished. My ID is KateEmerald, but you can also find all the information in the description box down below. And I hope I see you in the next video. Bye bye!